Namaste. 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 Thank you for coming back. I wasn't worried. Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Deborah, and it's a delight to be the called minister here at Emerson, and thank you, choir, for such a beautiful piece. And what a poignant piece to open our day with, Namaste. As many of you may know, this is a traditional greeting. If you go to India, you will hear people saying Namaste as a greeting to each other. The word is actually very ancient. It's an ancient Sanskrit word, and the namas, or the nama part of the word, actually means to bend or to bow. And stay, or the te, is you. So it's really translated as to bend to you, the you really referring to the divine and the divine in you. And there's mudras, which are hand gestures that go with this prayer of namaste, or this gesture of namaste, and we often call it prayer hands. But in namaste, you hold your hands and make sure there's a little, you can try this if you like, make sure there's a little bit of space between your palms, so palms aren't tightly together, a little bit of space between the palms. This is acknowledgement of the place for the divine. And then the hands come and the chest comes up a little bit, and the hands, the thumbs actually touch right where the heart is. And then it's also traditional to bow just a little as a sign of the head or the mind being below the heart. So it's a sign of reverence. I bow, I honor the divine in each of you. So I invite you to turn to somebody today and just say namaste. Namaste. And what a beautiful day to start our greeting with namaste, because today we get to honor and revere and celebrate the divine in one particular person today. Today's the day we get to celebrate our own Director of Family Ministries, Beth Klein. Let's give it up for Beth. Now, I am told that when Beth first arrived here on August 1st in 2001, there were 11 children in our RE program at the time, but of course 4 she had brought with her as her own children. So she almost doubled the program each time. So it's kind of going to be a requirement if Beth ever retires that the new person brings as many children, or 50% of the children that are here. But as you all know, that's a little bit more by now. But we really get an honor today. Beth's going to lead our service and share some of her wisdom of these 21 years, not only as an RE director, but really Beth's a lifelong UU. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of her reflections on the role of our religious education program, and I think not just for the little ones. Am I correct? You're very correct. Awesome. So welcome. If this is your first time here, special welcome to you. Those joining online, you might see tables set up. This is not how we normally do, but we're UUs and we can do anything we want. So we do not have servers walking around offering you drinks during service, though, so don't be looking for that, but please do enjoy this. You are all invited to stay for our brunch immediately following the service, which is why we set the tables up this way. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to invite you to rise now, and I think our words are going to be on the screen, so you can rise in body or spirit if you'd like for our opening hymn. If there are, we don't need to know the number because The words are up there.
008 in the teal headland is the one we use.
If you want to use it. But they don't have them. So. Oh, they're in the bottom system of the chairs. Okay. If these don't come on quick, we will do something about that.
Morning. My name is Ed. My name is Ed Cosper, and your ragweed, that ragweed has got me. So my voice is a little on the timid side this morning. I'm a member of the worship team. I'm a ministry associate here, and more importantly, I'm a school bus driver. All right. I extend my welcome to each of you today, and I'm so glad that you are here. Each Sunday, we pause to light our chalice as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism and our commitment to be a beacon of love in the world. As Theo Thomas lights our chalice, I'd like for you to listen to the words.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, a sign of our quest for truth and for meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Now, in the spirit of the beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other to this new day as we share our congregational affirmation. We need not think alike to love alike. So those in the sanctuary, feel free to move around to offer a greeting to others. For those online, please use the chat to introduce yourself and unmute to say hello. Hi.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Drew, and I serve as a member of our Emerson Pastoral Care team. At this time in our service, we pause to reflect on and share the joys, sorrows, and concerns in our lives, and light candles of our shared care. Prior to the service, we light 3 candles that hold our collective sorrow and hope. These candles recognize the collective pain and suffering of the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people who lived on this land before us, the Africans who were brought to this land and enslaved, and the pain and suffering in all nations of people when there is a conflict and injustice. Before our service each week, you are invited to add to this care table, lighting a candle for anyone you are holding in your heart. May all of these lights humbly remind us of our interconnection and the impact of our collective actions. May they be the light of hope for peace among all people. We now turn to our personal joys, sorrows, and concerns. You are invited to write a personal note in our care book prior to service. It is located at the entrance to the sanctuary, or you can always email us at pastoralcare@emersonuu.org. Together, let us celebrate these joys that have been shared with us. Ginger writes, "It is a joy that my son Andy is returning to Japan to be with his family after 3 years of being separated due to COVID restrictions." And with an open heart, let us hold these sorrows and concerns. Dominic writes, "I would appreciate positive energy for the speedy healing of the pinched nerve in my shoulder." We know there may be joys, sorrows, or concerns not spoken. As Reverend Deborah lights our candles, please feel free to say out loud or to type into the chat the name of someone you are holding in your heart today. Carly. Please join me in a moment of silence as we allow ourselves to feel part of this community of care. Let us send our heartfelt, caring intentions to each other and to all beings everywhere by offering the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. Please repeat the words after me. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be.
I had to ask if I could go off script or not. The answer is my darling wife, Kathy, and I. Today is a rough day because it's 2 years exactly today that our daughter died. So we want your kindness and your warmth and your love, and it makes a huge difference to us, and it's helped us to get through the past 2 years. Thank you, and thank you. One way we seek to share loving kindness is by partnering with our other organizations who work to bring love, kindness, and justice to the world. This month, we are in partnership with Freedom University. Georgia has the most discriminatory bans against undocumented students in the country. Freedom University, based here in Atlanta, and provides rigorous college preparation classes, college and scholarship application assistance, and social movement leadership training for undocumented students banned from equal access to public higher education in Georgia. We encourage each of you to support their work financially through our Share the Basket program, and also by engaging in direct action. Join me in passing the baskets and contributing, as we go through and remember what we're giving for. All donations, unless otherwise specified, are shared equally with Emerson and our partner organization. Thank you for giving.
Good morning, everyone. I have a story for all ages, but it's also a very special day for our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Would the young and the young at heart please join us in front of the podium here? Maybe this one? Oh, it's back to school time, look. Tall kids, little kids.
Yay.
You can scoot forward if you want to, so we have more room. This morning, Reverend Deborah and I invite all of you here in the sanctuary to help us formally welcome students who are joining their older student friends, teens, and adult congregants for the full worship hour in service at Sunday services. We're happy to mark this time of transition for these students and their families as they're ready to attend the full Sunday worship services now after their younger years. And where do you go in your younger years? Do you go to playtime during the sermon? Yeah. And playtime is playtime. It's not a fancy program, but it's a lot of fun. So I wanted you to know this morning that not all UU congregations intentionally include children and youth in worship services. Deborah and I had a call this last week from one of our colleagues in the metro area that was they're struggling with whether or not to have children in their worship services. So you gave her some pointers?
I did, yes. So it's, yeah.
We made little videos. I made
little
one
videos.
yesterday, and they shipped it off, so hopefully they'll make that move. Our efforts to have children in the worship services full-time is in response to the Unitarian Universalist research studies that correlate with 15 religious habits as indicators for a person to have a full lifelong and active UU faith. Do we have any lifelong members here? Lifelong UUs? Eric, don't be shy. How about here? Anne? Yeah, lifelong.
How about
Okay.
lifelong in our hearts, even though we
Lifelong
didn't
in
know
your
about
hearts, exactly. That's just about everybody. One of the strongest factors in all human faith development and practice is attending worship services regularly as a child and teen. We define regularly as 3 to 5 services a month when there's 5 Sundays. Emerson is a congregation that welcomes formally children into worship as a way to foster and support each child's faith development by including them in the worship community with open arms. So, Deborah.
All right, and a special welcome to our children and youth of every age. Many of you have made this same transition to worship over the past 10 years, and now it's your turn to welcome these younger children than you, younger than you children, and maybe even offer them a little advice. Oh, I see
We
you.
love advice, don't
We
we?
love advice.
Because
We hope that
use-
those of you joining us for the full service will find words to inspire, enjoying singing, right? Everybody enjoys the singing and all the other elements of the service that you're going to get to enjoy.
We haven't had our welcome to worship service in 2 years. So there's like a little, I'd call it a backlog
Yes.
of students that haven't had the opportunity to be welcomed to worship. And it's mainly because of the pandemic.
Beth, your script says we have a bumper crop.
Oh, we have a bumper crop of kids, absolutely. We do have a bumper crop of kids that are ready for their welcome to worship ceremony. It was a little hard to welcome children to worship during the pandemic when they may or may not be watching online. So today we do have that bumper crop, and they've sprouted up quite a lot. I can't believe it. They're just not the same kids they were 2 years ago, right? Yeah. And we are ready to welcome them to worship. The students that would like to be welcomed to worship, and that means staying in the full worship service, if you'd like to raise your hands for me. You can raise them. Who wants to be in the welcome to worship service? Okay, good.
Clark,
We've got
where's
a
Clark?
nice group. There's Clark.
Connor, where's Connor?
Connor,
CJ,
Daniela,
Maddie, Daniela.
Gregor. Our welcome to worship students this year include all of these students that raised their hand. And today I want to ask our 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and high school students with who have a few questions that we want to share with the welcome to worship kids. I wonder if any of the junior youth and senior high youth have some ways to be helpful while these students are joining worship. Tamsin, do you have any ideas? You can stand up for me. Oh, and
Oh, yeah, we need to.
absolutely. That's why I brought the mic and I put it back.
Thank you. Tamsin.
Okay, so our first UU principle is based on respect. We all need to remember to listen and be thoughtful when our speakers are talking and when our choir sings.
That's great.
Ah.
Do you want to pass off to Natalie?
All right, I think it's important to share our hymnals with our neighbor when we all sing together as a way to honor the 4th UU principle to learn and grow together.
Or look at our words on the big screen, like today.
Who else?
How about Adrian? There you are.
Thank you. It's a great idea to believe in our ideas and put them into action. According to our 5th UU principle, put a donation in the collection basket during offertory time, and it helps our congregation do that.
Awesome. How about Isabel?
I think these are good for everybody. Is everybody
I
listening?
kind of think so too.
Right.
The 3rd UU principle reminds us to yearn and learn. If you listen better when your hands are busy, you can borrow a kid's activity packet when you want to draw or color during the service and return it to the basket at the end of service.
Now, can adults get goodies out of the activity baskets?
Sure.
Beanie Babies and stuff? Yeah, just remember to return them when you're done. It's easy. Be my guest. Thanks. Theo, do you have one?
Well, offering fair and kind treatment to others is the idea behind our 2nd UU principle. I think that you can definitely be helpful by guiding our new guests to the brunch and all of that good food back there after the service.
Absolutely. And I had someone tell me that We even have lemonade back there. Well, we have lemonade most every Sunday. I know.
All right, those are all great ideas on how we can all be together in worship, so thank you, junior youth and beyond. At this time, I'd like to ask for everyone to join in reading the litany words for our Welcome to Worship ceremony that are going to be found on the big screen momentarily. The litany is a list, and this morning, this list is a series of promises that we will read out loud together to help us remember that we are here to support each other. And I'd like to invite the children that are being welcomed to worship. Can we have them stand up here so we can really be reading?
Please.
So
if you're going to be welcome to
and
worship, please just stand in
Maddie,
between
Connor,
us. That's awesome.
CJ.
Thank you,
should be
Gregory.
much.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you. Clark, would you like to join us? That's okay. No pressure. Not unless you want to stay in worship, but I think you have been for quite a few years. Yeah, awesome. We like that.
Let's see, where am I? Beth and I will start reading each group's words so you can each join in with us when it is your turn. Starting with our music team. Bruce on the piano. Kathy, our choir director, joined by the members of the choir who are worshiping with us today. And next we'll hear the wishes of your families. And then fellow religious education students, followed by the congregation as a whole. And lastly, Miss Beth will give her welcome.
Do we have our slide? Should we do repeat after me, Kathy? Would you like to do that?
There it is.
There we go. Can y'all see that? Please point your direction to the screen for the, sorry about that, sharing of our words of worship and welcome.
We welcome you
And invite you to sing with joy as we raise our voices together in community, and also listen with your heart when we share special music in this special time and place in peace together.
And those families of the children that we're welcoming today, if you will read with me. We welcome you and offer our promise to be here. Oops, could you go back one slide? Okay, let's start over. We welcome you and offer our promise to be here with you in patience and love in this special time and place in peace together. Now next one.
Now we have the religious ed students and young adults. Repeat after me for this one. Some of our kids don't read yet. We welcome you to our community of faith that learns from listening with not just our ears, but our hearts and minds too. In this special time and place, in peace together.
And now, Beth, I think it's you and I and the entire congregation and our board leaders. We welcome you and offer our friendship and help as you join us in this special time and place in peace together.
Deborah and I have a litany also. We welcome you and promise to be here to explore the wonders of the mysteries of life and help you find safety and hope each Sunday in this special time and place in peace together. If you'll join me, so may it be. Congratulations and welcome to worship services. We're glad to have you.
We hope to see you each and every Sunday. There was one thing the junior youth forgot to say to the little ones. They forgot to remind them. So kids that are joining in worship now, this is very important, okay? Every Sunday morning, when you wake up at 8 o'clock, you go over to your mom and dad's bedroom and say, "It's time to go to Emerson." And you jump up and down, very excited on their beds, to make sure that they are up in here on time.
I think that's a great angle.
I think that's good.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's time for us to sing our song of dedication that will be found on our big screen before our younger students depart the sanctuary to enjoy playtime. You ready? Then all stand.
It's the doctrine of His church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with each other. Thus do we promise to each other.
Well, come with me. Thank you. Miss Elizabeth, will you lead our kids out? Thank you, the younger kids.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Welcome, children. This is our time in the service where we start to kind of pull inside a little bit of activity going on there. So I'm going to invite you into our time of centering. If we can have the lights slightly dimmed. And this is a nice time that we take each Sunday to kind of take that moment to ourselves. So much of our lives are so busy doing things outside of ourselves, and even coming to a worship service on Sunday morning can feel like a big to-do, right? As those kids jump on your bed to remind you to get up, and all those things happen, and all the things it takes you to get here. But your body's arrived now, so I'm going to really invite you to carve out this special next 2 or 3 minutes just for you. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, I'll invite you to do that. And take a breath. Breath is always a wonderful way to create space, a wonderful way to remind ourselves that we are indeed embodied. Sometimes we move around the world as thoughts and hopes and dreams and trying and stressing. So allow this breath to bring you back into the presence of your body. Feeling your feet on the ground, the connection that you have with Mother Earth. Feeling the top of your head as it opens and stretches towards the sky. Our bodies are an amazing conduit of energy, energy from the earth, energy from above, and energy all around us. So allow yourself to sit in this place using the breath to guide your thoughts inside your body. Who are you? We speak in UU world often of being able to believe anything we want about spirit, about God or not God, about our human lives. I invite you to take this minute and connect. Connect for yourself. What do you believe? Where does Namaste live inside of you? Is there a place in your heart where you allow space to be, just as our prayer hands allowed space? How does the divine of life, in whatever way you define that, live inside of your body, your life? Can this be enough? Take another deep breath inside. If your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them now. Come back into this room, bringing your full presence into the room.
Hearts open, minds awake. Change us now, for heaven's sake. Leave us not alone in hatred's wake. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us how. Show us how to love.
Hearts open, souls awake, rules we made, we now must break with our very own lives at stake. We must learn to love, we must learn to love, we must learn, we must learn. Eyes open, shocked away, much to learn from our mistakes. Draw us closer in our heart. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us how. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us
It's for me to say, and I think the quiches are warm. So, show us how to love. What a great message. Am I on? Aha. There we go. Now I'm on. Thank you. Emerson Choir, we're so happy you're back. And Kathy and Bruce and the wonderful work you all do. I'm going to turn to the right page. I think we all need a chance to try to get on the right page. So, good morning, and thank you, Reverend Deborah, for your kind invitation to share this pulpit with you today. And thanks to the amazing folks on the family ministry team, hospitality team, the audiovisual team, and the Emerson office teams, along with our board of trustees, who've endorsed the festivities to celebrate my 21 years. Boy, that's hard to say. I am humbled by all of you who have made Bethfest a thing. And it's like this gigantic fun thing, so that's really great. And I can't wait to see what Emerson's going to do for my 40th anniversary, right? I'll be here in a wheelchair. Yeah. Just kidding. Many of you know that part of being a UU religious educator at Emerson, and just one of the many benefits of this calling, is having access to some pretty amazing Unitarian Universalist professional development classes. So religious educators, and really anybody who's interested, you can jump in on this festival, this feast of knowledge, we have a catalog of 3-day intensive UU training courses called Renaissance modules. And they have some pretty riveting topics. UU history. Who wouldn't love 3 days of UU theology? Ministry with youth, UU worship, multicultural religious education, UU identity. We'll talk more about that in a minute. UU philosophy of religious education, UU adult faith formation, curricula planning. I won't go anymore. You get the picture. Well, it didn't take me long at Emerson to figure out that I loved these training weekends. Yeah. I think I know what you're thinking. Great chance to get away from 4 kids, right? And a husband who travels? Yeah. So Mike happily stayed home with our 4 kids, and I realized that I did love these training sessions. And I'm not kidding that it was riveting, because pretty much early on, my friends, I realized that I'm a UU Renaissance module junkie. Now, some of our esteemed colleagues and congregants that are joining us for worship today for the first time, may not know what a junkie is. I'm going to dance around this one. If someone is addicted to a habit, and usually it's a bad habit, but in my case, it's a great habit, and they're doing something that they just cannot stop doing, they may be a junkie. They have little ability to stop because the habit just feels so good. Oh my. So that's me. It feels so good, and what I call UUology is what I've really enjoyed. So I'm definitely a Renaissance module junkie. In one of my first modules, now I'm not going to go through all 17, okay? You don't have to look forward to that. But I learned about a Catholic theologian. Her name is Maria Harris, and her life's work focused on one main idea. Are you ready? That the congregation, like all of us together, is the curriculum. Mind blown. I'm not seeing that same excitement. So that means that how the leaders of the congregation lead, how the minister and the staff, how we interact and do our jobs, how the adult members and children and youth work together, whether they behave well or not so well with each other, even the way that congregations celebrate together, how they make decisions, honors of milestones in our lives, how we play, you name it. Everything about a particular congregation, of every religious congregation, everywhere, actually is living, breathing curricula for that congregation. Even the way a congregation celebrates, makes decisions, the things I've listed, it's a big curricula. I don't know how many of those binders. Jillian, do you have a count on those binders? We have a few extras. Do you think there's 50? We could write our own curricula just by looking at how we behave together. I wanted to take the gems of these Renaissance modules and the learning to create a rich, diverse, beloved community experience for Emerson's children, youth, and families, our volunteers, our lay leaders, and even our ministers. My vision has been to create a family ministry that models different ways of being together in our UU faith that would bind our congregation across the ages and stages of all of our own continuing faith development levels, to create positive memories together as we work, gather in spiritual ways, and gather for a lot of play. One of my wonderful UU religious educator teachers and mentors is Connie Goodbread. She took that idea of the congregation is the curriculum, and she put a twist on it. And to clarify what Unitarian Universalism is at its core, by saying everything we do is faith formation. So whether we're setting up tables, whether we're cleaning up balloons in sequence, all of those things together is faith formation. Everything we teach is Unitarian Universalism. And last but not least, the congregation is the curriculum. So it was very early in me being immersed in UUism at these Renaissance module trainings that I started to form a vision of a congregation being our curriculum at Emerson. In regards to the children and families programs, one challenge it was that I traveled and theorized with other directors of religious education, and no one really saw it my way. Beth, you cannot have children in worship. It's inappropriate. Who knows what they'll do? And I just didn't see it that way. In working with Emerson's Religious Ed Committee and the leaders over these 21 years, and as I look around, I see many of you that have been Religious Ed chair people and active in the Religious Ed Committee, we have created new ways to build, nurture, and support Emerson UU kids, our families, and our congregation. As we've grown out of a small family-sized suburban congregation into one of the most progressively family-friendly and welcoming all ages, mid-sized congregation in this region. There's not many of us out there. So I'm very excited about the new Emerson website. When's it come out? When is that going to hit? This week? Awesome. So while we've been working on it, I'm on the web, I'm looking at other congregations, what do they say, how do they say it, what are their pictures like, blah, blah, blah. And I ran into a mission statement for a large Florida UU congregation last year that talked about their religious exploration program for adults and kids. And here it is. Our Lifespan Religious Education Program teaches adults and children about the great faiths of the world, social justice, wonders of the natural world, and ethical decision-making. Compare that to Emerson's family ministry statement that basically says this: our goal is to do absolutely everything we can to grow lifelong Unitarian Universalists. We feel that strongly about how important this faith is. And our vision of how we do it is not easy, but it's fun. To have an array of spiritual learning, community building, and hands-on service to other experiences together. And we need to increase that outreach and social justice work while integrating UU values across all ages so we can grow and live our individual and our congregational UU faith. So why is it so important that Emerson have a Unitarian Universalist faith formation? And why is it so important to me? And that is a very big question. It's probably one that's deep enough for 5 to 6 different sermons, so I'm going to spare you. But let's start for me evangelizing for a minute on why I think our UU faith is a faith whose wisdom is more relevant today than just about any other time in our history. At their simplest, our values are embedded in our 7 principles. They serve as critical direction points on our personal moral compasses. Does everyone have their personal moral compass with them today? Now, I had planned to sing the UU 7 principle song, but I'm going to spare you. At its most complex, our faith is a faith that is infinitely welcoming, truth-seeking, wonder-revealing, validated, open to exploration and the transcending wisdom that it unfolds around us, and powered by the most basic of all motivations. And the choir took my line. It's love. That is what it's all about. I have this favorite 95-page little book that I mentioned in the rite of passage ritual. It's called Full Circle, 15 Ways to Grow Lifelong UUs. And it's written by Katie Tweedy Ursula Covey in 2005. What Covey did was she went out and did a huge amount of surveys. She went across different demographic levels looking for lifelong UUs. so that little bit of straggler folks that raised their hands earlier. She interviewed folks like you from 25 to 87 years old, and she interviewed 85 people. And what she came up with is 15 ways to grow UUs. And see how many that you think relate to you here at Emerson. Lifelong UUs identify and crave their UU identity. Do any of you feel like you have a UU identity? Can you think about it? It's things like common beliefs, whether you believe wholeheartedly with our 7 principles, things like that. And there are some hidden assumptions that underlie our faith, such as there being the possibility, just a possibility, that there is good and positive things in the universe. That ultimate religious act is choosing what we as individuals believe. That we make our choices with intelligent love, including reason, our senses, and our conscience. Lifelong UUs also talked about life considering religious exploration or second hour. I don't know how many of you adults go to the second hour classes that we have, but lifelong UUs go. They like it. They like to learn. They like to learn and grow. Lifelong UUs attend services regularly. They have found value in ritualizing holiday events and celebratory, that was good, celebratory events. Thank you so much for coming to the dance last night. That was so fun. They also are realists, and that means lifelong UUs advise other UUs to prepare for the negative side of community, religious community. In any community, whether it's your home, family of choice, we have to prepare ourselves for the divisions, controversies, and discomfort. If we prepare ourselves and our children for inevitable conflicts of building community, we're more able to handle the snags and stumbles when they come up. And it does remind me a lot of our families. We need to strive to provide the background stories for every teacher who's teaching so they know what that really means. So many of our teachers come to us either as returning Unitarian Universalists who haven't taught in a long time, or brand new folks who are brand new to our faith. So we need to tell them the backstories. We need to provide parents and the congregation with UU resources. We need to offer opportunities for all ages to live out our UU values, and that thing is critical. And so we're going to work more on that this year. So we do more outreach, more good things for our community together. Lifelong UUs also remember to focus on engaging programs for kindergarten through 6th grade because they remember those nurturing teachers. Thank you, teachers. They remember engaging arts and crafts projects. They remember singing in the holiday pageant. And they remember asking challenging questions and not being shut down. So that blend of skilled, caring teachers and programs that balance fun, which keeps kids, does the fun keep you coming back? Yeah, pretty much. And teachable moments, which create mature religious individuals. So there are probably 6 more of those 15 ways. And you'll have to come and talk to me about it because my message is running long today. These suggestions for raising lifelong UUs and being one yourself require intention and commitment from everyone, church leaders, staff, parents, and all congregants. As we return to where I started this morning, I wanted to introduce you to a very wise and experienced UU religious educator from Massachusetts named Daniel Harper. I've never met Daniel Harper, but he wrote a 12-page essay about faith formation for Unitarian Universalists, and I have it here if you'd like me to read it too. Nah, just kidding. Daniel Harper's main idea was that there's 5 tasks that a person needs to develop their UU faith, and guess what? They almost exactly mesh those 15 ways to grow lifelong UUs. So I'm flipping all of those, I'm tripping through all of those tasks. There, you might learn ways of techniques of meditation and prayer by joining Qigong on Tuesday nights with Reverend Deborah. Visit the Emerson Buddhist group, and of course, come to service on Sundays. Learn a new role in our congregation. Be a part of the radical hospitality that our hospitality team extends. Join our wonderful choir on Wednesday nights. Singing as spiritual practice is a real thing here. Engage in social action. Quiet ways to show you care about changing our world just a tiny bit by bringing canned foods to feed those living in homelessness and food shortage in our neighborhood, and signing unregistered voters up to cast their votes. So those are a few simple ways to form a deep, living Unitarian Universalist faith for yourself. It will never, ever be boring, I promise. And there are many new and challenging ideas. So my advice to you, in closing, is to find your place amongst this beloved community here in ways that resonate in your UU faith with your many gifts. I would love to invite our kids' summer music workshop singers and their leader, Bruce King. And we'll be showing This Little Light of Mine on the screen. How would you like to give the kids some lights, Bruce?
Oh, well,
and please. Oh, they're clapping. Didn't realize that. Okay.
Sorry.
So come on up.
I would like to invite not only the kids that worked this summer so hard with me coming up and get up here on the dais, but I would like to invite all of the kids that have ever been involved in a program that this fine lady had anything to do with. And I think that's every kid in the room, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
I would love to see you all up here.
And if you'll rise as you're able, we will join in singing with our summer kids group. Slowly, carefully, no running. That's the story of my life, right? My closing words today with you are from two inspiring UU ministers that I've known, Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker and Reverend Maureen Killoran. And here's what they advise us as we go out into the world to eat delicious sandwiches and enjoy each other. So let this be our meal grace before we have our lunch. No matter how weak or frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support those who are broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, to do the work of justice and love. Be strong. Be connected. Each day, act. Act so that you may be a little bit more whole. So be it.
So it's funny that you mentioned the word gift, Beth.
Mike.
Yeah,
There,
you
Beth,
don't need
Mike.
your mic for this part.
Oh, okay.
I need you to come out here. So now many of you know that there was an email that went out that invited you to send in some words that expressed what you think of Beth. And they were all nice words. So I'm going to invite Beth. We're going to have what, in my tradition, is called a prayer circle. So with your permission, may we prayer circle
Absolutely.
you? All right.
Absolutely.
How about if we put you somewhere where you feel
Okay.
comfortable? I'm going to invite the choir to come down here. I'm going to invite everybody to stand. You can either come forward if you would like, or you may stay at your seat. But if you'd like to come forward, the idea here is we're going to surround Beth. And we are going to surround her with all those words that you sent in or any new ones. Come forward if you'd like. And Beth, before we do that, I will show you, we have a couple things in here for you. And one of the things that we have in here, well, I wonder if we should do the thing first. No, let's do that. We'll do the prayer circle first, then I'll show you your gifts. Okay, so come forward if you'd like. So I'm going to invite everybody to hold your hands up. We talked about the power in our hands and how the heart is connected very much to the hands. We often do service with our hands. We express our love through our heart. So you can actually visualize love going from your palms of your hands right into Beth. So Beth, you're going to just stand there and take all of this love in. And then I'm going to invite everybody, and we're just going to popcorn this. Just any words that come to mind for you when you think of Beth Klein. And Beth, I'm going to invite you to stand. You can have your eyes closed if you want and just take this in. And we'll all take a moment and take a breath. Visualizing this beautiful woman who has given so much to this community over 21 years. I wish every human here knew the number of hours that you spend working, thinking, doing, creating this program, and with such love, Beth. So let's surround her now with our words of gratitude. Say it nice and loud, please.
Fun. Dedication. Flowers.
Joy. Beauty. Kind. Friendly. Keep it going. Loving.
Beautiful heart. Indomitable.
Unstoppable. Dedicated.
Open my eyes because I get dizzy.
Beautiful.
That would not be putting.
So taking this moment to just radiate your love and appreciation for Beth Klein. And Beth, please take in all this love. We can never repay you fully for all that you have given this community, but let this be a slight little bit of love coming back your way. Thank you. And Beth, what we did was we went ahead and put all those words that people sent in into this beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh,
So it has
okay.
all the words that we just spoke.
You know that I'm going to want to know who did this because I've been
We all
trying
did
to
it.
learn Canva
Oh.
to make, yes, the program was graphic. This is very cool. Thank you.
This was
And
another-
gorgeous words.
another
Oh,
little
thank
gift.
you.
I'll hold this if you want to
Oh,
open
sure.
that one.
Sure. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Tissue, tissue, tissue. Open, open, open. What is it? Oh, this is gorgeous.
It's a
It's a chalice necklace. And it's a little bit fancier than my pewter one off the internet. Thank you so much. This is lovely.
And then
I
there's
will
also
wear it
some
with
chocolates
pride.
in there for you because everybody
Wonderful,
needs
thank you.
chocolate.
I appreciate all of your kind words. And here's to 21 more years, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and extinguish our chalice, and then I think Ed will have a few announcements for us, and then we will partay.
Sounds great. Thanks again.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment.
These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. Isn't it exciting to have our choir back? Please, if you would like some more information about Unitarian Universalism or how you can become more in participation here at Emerson, please stop by our welcome table where Carol is going to be greeting you and giving you some information. Also, please join us next week for Reverend Deborah as she delivers a message, A River of Love. So please join us next week. Yeah, that too. So, yeah, I think so. So in closing, I'd just like to say, the words in our invocation that the choir sang this morning, just a little hint of it, but was so important. And I'd like to share it with each of you, as well as you, Beth, Reverend Deborah, Leo, Thomas, our chalice lighter and extinguisher. Namaste. 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 The divine in me blesses and honors the divine in you. That's a message I will carry with me all week and through the rest of my life. Today we're going to have a brunch. I'm excited to get to the eating part. So I'm going to ask Reverend Deborah to say those parting words of, one more.
Just a little reminder, next week is our in-gathering, so for those of you that are familiar with that, you'll know that you are invited to bring a little container of water from some place in your world. That can be anywhere. We also will have water here if you don't do that. And if you are new, please join us. It's a wonderful ritual that we do at the beginning of our congregational year where we combine our waters into one. So it'll be a beautiful ritual again next week. And now
And
I
new?
will, huh? What?
Is it new next week?
Is it new? Oh, okay. Anyway, and so now I'll say, stay in peace and stay here with peace because we're going to eat. Maggie, Millie, do you have any?
Yes, I was going to tell them what to do about it.
Okay, Millie's going to tell you what to do. Millie, here, can I hand this? Millie, can I get this to you? There you go.
Listen up.
Use the mic.
We are going to dismiss you table by table to go get your food. And we're going to go out this door and you can come back in here. So you can stand up and enjoy each other, but don't move away from your table because if you do, you won't get to eat. So when you get your food, just come back to your table and eat.
Use the mic, Millie.
Use the mic, Millie.
Use the mic, Millie.
Or anybody need to ask a question?
And if we need more tables, we can set another table up, so we'll figure that out. Thank you, Millie. All right. Thank you, guys. Hey, I have a question for you back here. I'm sitting around over there was having a hard time hearing Beth. Could you hear okay? You could, okay. It must be because I was tucked in the corner there. Thank you, that was wonderful. So good to have you all back, and what a good crowd. Thank you. 21. 21. Hey, that is great. You know what, in a lot of ways, I think that's better than had you started at 45. No. Nice try. Whatever. Hey, I want to tell you something. They're reprinting that because they screwed up on the printing and they couldn't get it reprinted in time. Yeah, but when they printed it, they see this black thing there. I told them I didn't like that. And also, since I'm reprinting it, if you have a different color you'd like in the background, I can ask them to put a different color in the background. Who designed it? I did. I got this, somebody, I forget who it was. Yeah, with the software, but also this template. Someone had made that template, and then I just, everybody said it works better. That is so wonderful.